little bit of single track action going on here. Just building a little bit of a trail up beside the tracks. We're gonna go through there, then back down into the bush. Just moving rocks. Getting it all cleaned up so you can get through here a little easier. Kind of a technical area for most people, but it's not too bad. This meets up with our other track over here. Grandpa sure loves his golf cart. Now we can go up this trail with it and see the train. You got another view of the train now, eh?
Hello.
You got another view of the train now, eh?
Yeah.
That's good. You like it?
Yeah.
Good.
Go up that way now.
Okay. Keep the shiny side up. Keep the shiny side up. A little Yamaha GC. Another really good investment, especially for the older people. You can get around real easy. We take care of our older people, older generations, the ones who fought for our freedom. We love them. That's a big one. Dirty dangler.
Not a bad wedge.
7 a gun, that's a big one.
I think it
2 feet, more than 2 feet in diameter.
the holding wedge worked nice. Why did it curl that way? Just because it hit the other trees or what?
Probably because of this.
Yeah, oh yeah, this one held a little bit longer than that one. Which is okay because it didn't wipe any of the other trees out, right?
It started going and then you were still on this side, weren't you?
I cut that side first because I wanted it to go this way.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, that's a big one.
That's nasty.
Okay. Our bridge is backing up the water a little bit here. It's not good. Pretty soon it's going to wash that bridge out. It's not even much water. Yeah, I see that. He's rushing through there pretty good, but it's backed up pretty good. Oh well, it does this every year. It'll be alright. junk. I cut some of it up for firewood, but for the most part it's garbage. The old Kubota. M8200 Kubota utility special. It's a pretty good tractor, my dad's tractor. Very thankful to be able to use this machinery. Some counterbalance weight on the back for the front end loader. So today's project I'm going to show you is to start going to set up the camera here for these boards, and we're going to start turning this cedar into siding, whatever else we need it for, but right now it's mostly for board and batten and some trim for my mom and dad's house. So my brother used his little jig to cut the first. I'll just show you with the camera here. We cut this side off. I've shown you before in a previous video. Then this side, and then we use this Alaskan mill, which sits on top of the wood, basically from the end, and then it just slides along, and you can set the depth. You can set this depth of I can't remember what it's called, these rails. They just set your height, whichever height you want. There's a marker here that tells you right now we got it set at 3/4 of an inch. And yeah, so basically I just adjusted these two, this U-ring, this U-bolt. Adjust this for your height and this markers. Same thing on this side, get it set for your depth. And then you take that over here, you set it up on here, fire that bad boy up, and just run her along there. It's not like a wood miser or a bandsaw mill, but it does the trick. Set it up, set the camera here, and here we go. And I'll show you the chain real quick. It's a ripping chain. It has a different profile. So it's, let's see if I can get, oh, there's a good angle. So there's your ripper tooth. Now on a regular cutting chain it's more of an angle this way, so this basically this corner here would be cut off. So this is more of a square edge right here. It's more of a square edge. The rakers are pretty much the same, and it's different in different curvature here for the gullet. It's not a point like a ripping chain or a regular chain, so that's what they call a ripping chain. At least that's what the guy said he sold me anyways. Seems to cut better than the, because you're cutting with the grain of the wood, which is harder to cut through than cutting across the grain. So when you're cutting with the grain, it's just, you need a different type of chain for a full length board like that. So we'll set it up and see how she goes. So there you have it. Nice, clean, perfectly 3/4 inch board. Some nice western red cedar right there. It needs to be thrown through the planer, but that's no big deal. I think that's where I stopped, and then I started again. Don't really want to stop and start if you can help it, but you can throw it through the planer and get rid of that. I just stopped because I haven't done this much, and my hand is actually, it gets pretty sore just from pushing, but once you get in the shape of it, you'll be fine. As you can see, it looks pretty nice. So that'll make some good western red, western red cedar. You can use this for whatever, like we're gonna use it probably for siding on the pole shed and then trim on the house. Alright, so another quick little tech tip. Probably most of you smarty pants out there will be able to figure this out on your own, but air is your best friend. I think I mentioned this one other time. It's good for blowing off your clothes and everything. Just be very careful with it. It can get into your blood veins if you go pierce your skin with it. Most people do not recommend you use air for cleaning yourself off, but I use it all the time. Just be super careful. This is not a disclaimer or however that's put. I don't know. Don't take my word for it. Just be careful. Anyways, the saw itself was getting super hot in the clutch area, which is right in there, after about 6 cuts of I think it was about a 16-foot board. So 6 or 7 boards, and she was pretty hot. The clutch area, it was still oiling really well on the chain. You can see there the oil buildup of the chain and sawdust, the chain oil and sawdust buildup. So she's definitely good and lubed. It's nicely lubed in here. And then there's another bearing down here that can be greased. You can see that little hole there. So something to keep an eye on. Just don't do too many cuts. We recommend greasing that bearing definitely every time you check the oil. Okay, so as I was saying, you want to check your, you want to grease this bearing. You can buy a little grease gun tool for greasing air tools and stuff like that through Snap-on, or probably Husqvarna has them as well. Kevin's 18-inch bar doesn't have a grease zerk there. It's just a sealed bearing, but mine does. So obviously you want to keep that thing greased up. And then your bar oil, obviously you want to top that up. Check it every single time you check your fuel. Make sure that stays topped up so your chain doesn't get too hot and burn the bar and burn the chain and burn the wood. And another, like I said, your best friend, one of your best friends for preventative maintenance is just an air gun. I use it lots. I use it on my snowmobile clutches. I blow them out after every single ride. It takes 2 seconds. Your clutches will last a lot longer. Chain on your motorcycle. You always get, if you're riding a dirt bike, or even, well, pretty much anytime you ride off-road, you're going to get sand and dirt and grit. And see all that sand and dirt and grit? Most people just ride the crap out of their machine. They might grease the chain every once in a while, but they don't even take the time to use a proper scrubber. You can get proper scrubbers that go around the chain, and you can turn the wheel, put it on a stand, turn the wheel. As your chain turns around, the scrubbers scrub all the dirt and sand. You can get a special cleaner you spray on there before you do that. The more you use proper preventative maintenance measures on especially your chain and sprockets, your suspension, cleaning your forks, making sure that all debris, dirt and grass and sand and all kinds of grit, sticks, whatever, just keep it, always keep an eye on that stuff and make sure it's clean. Your chain guide, suspension components, make sure you spray some either, well, WD-40 is not the greatest, but fluid film. You can put it in your joints. WD-40 is actually supposed to be good for arthritis, in case you didn't know. We use a lot of, just even your foot pegs, WD-40 or fluid film. You don't want to be putting it on your brakes, so don't spray it on your brakes. But yeah, use air to blow. A lot of this stuff I blow off at the end of every day. Like this is from one ride through the bush, this dirt. But I'll blow it off at the end of the day, all this grit. That'll just save the life of your components a lot longer than you would expect. The rest of the bikes, yeah, it's just basically just keeping the scratches down on the plastics by blowing it all off. But any kind of moving components, mechanical components like the wheels, blowing out your, you don't want to blow inside the bearings here with the air gun because there's grease in there and you don't want to push dirt into it, but you can blow dirt off around the spokes. Just simple little stuff like that makes a huge difference for the longevity of the whole bike as a whole. And the same thing with the chainsaw, same thing with the snowmobile, same thing with pretty much anything mechanical. Just take the time to, like you can see here, I could just keep running this saw without taking 5 minutes to blow all this crap off with an air gun. You can have, you know what an air compressor is. We're thinking of just taking a little pancake compressor out to the mill where we're cutting the wood, and then we can blow it off after every 3 or 4 cuts. Saves on the air filter, saves on the clutching, saves on the chain, saves on the bar, keeps all kinds of dirt and debris from getting into your fuel when you want to put more fuel in it. Right, so just take the time to do it. The longevity is just so much longer. So that's a little bit of a tech tip for you. We're going to clean that up and go do about 6 or 7 more cuts, and that'll be it for the day.